Howdy folks and welcome back to Heroes and Generals. I'm your host Legendary and today it's going to be a bit different. I will let a video of me playing in the background, but I wanted to talk about what just happened yesterday with Heroes and Generals. So uh, I'm going to do a recap for all of you that didn't really follow the news or whatever. So I'm going to say what happened to Heroes and Generals and what's going next. So let's get into it. The first thing is that the first developer for Heroes and Generals, the creators of the game were Ritomoto. Ritomoto launched a game in 2016, if I remember correctly, but it was in closed and then open beta before, but I'm not really counting into that. So Ritomoto, which were the owner of the game, made some bad choices back in the days. After the launch of the game, they didn't listen to the community, and hence the situation deteriorated. So basically they started losing money with the game, and in 2019 the situation was so bad that they had to let go a big chunk of their developers, which further hampered their options for the future. So after the big cut in 2019, a large portion of their developers were let go. As I said, they started listening to the community, but the problem was that before they had money, but after the big cut, they didn't have money anymore, and they couldn't really make any change to the game. If you understand what that mean, what I mean, but I will talk a bit more about that a bit later. The game was a big money pit for Ritomoto. Basically, Ritomoto had to pay to keep the game running. So you have to know that the game is not profitable since quite a long time. TLM partners bought the game in 2022, and they took over the development. Of course, they kept the entire team, but they changed quite some stuff. And TLM, being much bigger than Ritomoto, and better some, maybe, I don't know, like that lapses. They still had to pay to keep the game online. So it was a money pit for Rito, and then when TLM bought the game, it was a money pit for them too. When they took over the game in 2022, a lot of stuff was broken. There was a lot of bugs, and the problem with these bugs is that they cannot really smash them. They just cannot solve them at all. They couldn't produce new maps since the map tool was broken since quite a long time, and they are using Flash to which is a link to different parts of the game. The RTS part is running on Flash, and Flash is dead since 2 years now. I don't remember exactly, but they stopped working on Flash and they decided to shut it down. So the game was basically doomed at this point. They just kept working on the game to try to maintain it alive, but they were still losing money. So here's the real issue, and that's why they couldn't really fix the bugs, because their tools were so broken and so old that they cannot really fix the bugs. So that's what happened basically. They really started going under, and I think it was in October or November that they started working on the prototype, and Hades, the community manager, learned about it in December. I want to include something. I wasn't sure if I was going to include it, but I'm going to anyway. Hades, the community manager, lied about that. He said that he said basically that he had to pretend for a bit longer that his balancing patch was going to be released, while he knew that it wasn't the case. So I really think that's a bit shady, and that really doesn't give me much confidence about what they are saying about the new game. If the guy can just lie like that, on what else is he lying? That's the question. So that brings us to the second part of this video. I want to tell you what's the future. What's the future of the franchise? What's going to happen? So, if you already didn't follow the news, Heroes and Generals will be sunset, effectively shut down, in approximately 6 months. Maybe less, maybe a bit more. I don't really know. They say that within 6 months from the announcement that came yesterday. So it was Tuesday. Tuesday the 31st of February 2023. They made the announcement. So 6 months from then. What about Heroes and Generals 2? So they called it The Next War, but they say the name is not final. So we don't really know how it will be called. So I'm going to call it Heroes and Generals 2, or the second. All the accounts, the gold, and the stuff, so your weapons, etc., will be gone. So just be aware of that. When they decide to shut down Heroes and Generals the first, you will lose absolutely everything you have on your account. So I'm sorry if you invested money or whatever. I did. I'm sorry if you have a veteran account running or whatever. It's going down. So that's really an issue. That's really an issue for me. But anyway, they say that Heroes and Generals 2 will be a new game, not just a remake. So they will introduce new mechanics and new features. They will have a new team, and they will build the game from the ground up on Unreal Engine 5. Sorry. The maps will be completely new, so they are not going to take the same maps and redo it with Unreal Engine. They cannot port anything. Even if they wanted to, they said that that would be going to introduce more problems than anything. So they basically need to redo everything. So in order to do that, they created a Kickstarter campaign, and the Kickstarter campaign needs a fund of, don't laugh, $3 million. Yeah, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just to build the game, and it's a minimum. So if you watch the video, they did a video explaining all of that. They showed a bit of the pledges, and they did quite of a mistake. They let a huge gap when they showed it, and they showed the different pledges, and they stopped at $100 and they went up to $10,000. So of course there will be pledges in between, but it's good to know that you don't have the choice to pay either $100 or $10K. You still have some pledges tiers in between. Heroes and Generals 2 will be an FPS, as is Heroes and Generals, with an RTS part. So at least it will be somewhat similar to the first one. So they are not giving up on that. That's a good thing, in my opinion. At the moment, they don't know how it's going to work for the RTS part. For the FPS part, they say that they want to keep somewhat the feel of Heroes and Generals, but of course they cannot keep everything. The general character, so in case you didn't really know about it, it was a character that can only move the assault teams, etc. You cannot play the first-person shooter with a general. It is locked in the RTS part of the game. So the general character will probably no longer exist. They are not sure of that, but probably. Another thing that I forgot to mention, Heroes and Generals 2, they said that they hope to release it, well, the plan or whatever, to release it in the second quarter of 2024. So basically, if you are very optimistic, I'm not, you are going to have around 1 year without any Heroes and Generals game. If the crowdfunding succeeds, which is not guaranteed by any means. What they showed, they made a video. I'm going to put the link into the description of that video. The demo that they used is very early and it doesn't represent the final product. Because yeah, if you watch the video, you can see that definitely it's not the same feel, not the same sounds, not the same way that it works, etc. So it was just a prototype to show what they can make with the Unreal Engine. So they're going to develop the new game alongside that. That will not be the basis. They're going to build it from the ground up, as I said before. So I think that's everything. At least that's everything I know at the moment. Maybe I forgot one or two things, but I think I was pretty extensive on that on that regard. I went into the Discord and I watched everything that reader TLM Hate said, and I'm going to put the pictures, the screenshots of what he said into the video as well, so you can read by yourself. So I think that will be it for now. Thank you a lot for watching. If you want some more news, I will give you that in the future. Maybe not in an exclusive video. I will see. So subscribe if you want to stay posted about that. And I wish you all a very good day. And I wish to see you next time. Bye bye, folks.